Central proudly presents Live from the President's Cup.
Well, from the big productions on Broadway to big business on Wall Street, expectations are really rather simple in the Big Apple. They want the best. And did they ever get it this week with the United States of America? A dominant performance in winning yet again the President's Cup. The Internationals haven't won one since the Clinton administration. That was back in 1998. U.S. is 8-0-1 in that time span. Credit to the Internationals. They fought today, and they actually won the session 6.5 to 5.5. In all, it's a 19-11 United States win. And you think back 3 years ago, so much disappointment at that Ryder Cup in Scotland. They have their house in order now. They've won 3 straight Cup competitions. We are coming to you from Liberty National. Frankly, we just didn't have the kind of Sunday dramas I said that you'd love to see in events like this. I think for drama, you have to go to Broadway. This was more like a feel-good American musical. We'll call it Heroes on the Hudson. But you have to marvel at what we are now seeing with this young brigade. We marveled at the Open at Royal Birkdale when Spieth won, again at Quail Hollow when Justin Thomas won, and now together as a team, David.
Well, it was a remarkable first 3 days for the U.S. team. And that's the thing. We would certainly love to see the final singles match on the 18th green to decide the Cup, you know, as a fan. But at the same time, appreciate the excellence that was on display Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to build such a tremendous lead, an insurmountable lead. And certainly we all thought that they would go out and try to play hard and set all the different records. But that's easier said than done, you know, when it's kind of over with. And we knew that the international side would show up today playing for a lot of pride, and they played beautifully. And I was happy to see that. But just the way these guys have come together, the formula when they got together with the Ryder Cup Commission to really kind of revamp U.S. team golf moving forward, I think is really starting to pay dividends.
There is some similarity there, and I think we'll mention that during the course of the show. We'll go back to Glen Eagles, obviously, and it's reminiscent of the early 80s. They in the Ryder Cup, they invited Europe to take over from Great Britain and Ireland when basically the same thing was happening, Brendel. They were getting a shellacking. And in 1979, Ballesteros was added to that team, and he partnered Antonio Garrido. He was actually voted off the side in 1981. But he was the catalyst for a movement. And then all of a sudden, the Ryder Cup became what it is now. Obviously, the internationals are lacking a Seve or a Patrick Reed, a Laney Watkins. The list goes on. And that's the intangibles, because it's a team competition.
Besides the obvious disadvantage, competitive imbalance, they're missing a spark. They've never found a spark. And you're right, Seve was that spark for Europe. And in a similar way, you can point to Patrick Reed and Jordan Spieth, probably specifically, those two players, and say that they have provided the spark, not only on the Ryder Cup side, but also on the President's Cup side, that makes a team better than their individual participants. The international side simply has not been able to find a spark. But also, you know, you can't just say one team played better than another, and that's the reason they won. That is missing the point of what makes a team better than they are even on paper. And there are examples of that. There are examples of a captain employing techniques that have made his team better than anybody thought it was. And those are worth diving into, I do believe.
No one with more TV time this week than Lady Liberty. In fact, best ball against everybody. I'm talking about Spieth and Reed. Manhattan skyline and the Statue of Liberty win in a runaway this week, right? We've seen plenty of Freedom Tower. What a magnificent building that is. We'll come back with much more. We have lots to look at here. Should this event, does it need to be fixed? And if so, how do you do it?